Now, again, you are talking about the idea of quote-unquote circumstances that are relevant to what theme you are exploring. Certain themes you are exploring may not have chosen for the body to be allowed to heal, but in the generalized answer, yes, the body is capable of healing from anything. Anything. But you have to be in the right vibration to allow it to do so. And again, taking advantage of the collective agreement of the ideas in physical reality that you allow yourselves to generally be affected by automatically, you can aid the body in that sense vibrationally in its ability to heal from just about anything by doing certain physical things that are representative of being in alignment with the collective agreement about what health is, such as detoxification.
Spread love, man.
Welcome you to a deep dive that could really shift how you see things. Today, we're venturing into some pretty fascinating, maybe unexpected territory. We're looking at the body's incredible capacity to heal and, well, how our whole idea of reality plays into our physical experiences.
Yeah, we're drawing from a conversation with Bashar, and it asks some really big questions.
Huge questions, like can our bodies actually recover from anything, even, major trauma?
Right. And where do illnesses really come from? Is it pre-planned?
And how do we deal with physical discomfort? Can we change how we experience it?
Exactly. So get ready, because this might just open up some new ways of thinking about your health, your well-being.
Okay, so let's jump right in. This idea that the body can heal from anything.
Yes, what's really compelling right from the start is that maybe the body's ability to mend itself isn't, like, fixed by our current science.
Okay.
The material we're exploring suggests fundamentally, yes, the body is capable of healing from absolutely anything.
But there's a catch.
Well, the key, it says, lies in achieving the right vibration.
Okay, vibration. Let's unpack that a bit. It's not just about, being happy constantly, is it?
No, not quite. It sounds more like a deep alignment with our shared understanding, our collective agreements about what physical reality and health even are.
So like tuning a radio. You need the right frequency to get a clear signal.
That's actually a really helpful way to think about it, yeah. We exist within this collective agreement about how the physical world works, and that includes our bodies.
And practically speaking, does it mention anything more tangible?
It does. On a practical level, the source mentions detoxification. That's one way to support healing within this framework we generally accept.
How so?
Well, the idea is, if we believe we're surrounded by toxins, maybe our bodies absorb them, and that might interfere with absorbing nutrients needed for repair.
Ah, okay. So clearing those pathways helps the body do its thing naturally.
Exactly, assisting the natural processes.
That makes sense physically, but then the conversation takes a real turn, doesn't it, into something that feels almost like sci-fi.
You mean shifting to a parallel reality where the body's already healthy?
Yeah. How can we even wrap our heads around that concept?
Well, if we take a broader view of consciousness, the source material uses this interesting car analogy.
Okay.
Imagine your consciousness is the driver, your physical body. That's the car you're in right now.
Right.
Now, think about renting a different car when you travel. It's still you driving, but a different vehicle.
Okay, I follow.
Similarly, it's suggested that our consciousness is constantly shifting between countless parallel realities, billions of times a second, apparently.
Billions. Wow.
And each reality contains a slightly different version of your physical self.
So wait, it's not that my current injured body suddenly heals here. It's that my awareness, shifts somewhere else.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Your consciousness moves to a reality where a healthy version of you, of your body, already exists.
Like flicking between different TV channels or different cars incredibly fast without even realizing it.
Exactly, without being aware of it. The core insight here is that the physical body, from this viewpoint, isn't fixed or solid. It's more like an illusion or a projection of consciousness.
So healing isn't linear in the way we think. It's a shift in focus.
A shift of conscious awareness to a reality where that healing has, in effect, already happened.
Okay, this brings up a really important question for me and probably for you listening too. Where do illnesses even start?
Right. Is it something we're destined for? Maybe planned before we even got here?
Yeah, is it predetermined?
The source material suggests, not always, not specifically. We might set up certain themes or areas to explore before birth, sure.
Like general lessons.
General lessons, overarching themes, yeah. But the specifics, including maybe getting sick, can be influenced by our belief systems while we're living.
So if we hold beliefs that kind of attract disease, that becomes our experience.
That seems to be the idea. If those beliefs are consistent, then yes, that can manifest physically.
So illness isn't just bad luck or punishment. It could actually be an opportunity for growth.
Exactly, a way to explore those themes we maybe chose for ourselves. And a really crucial point is learning the lesson the illness presents.
The lesson.
Yeah. Once that underlying lesson is truly understood, integrated, the reason for the condition to stick around often just dissolves.
But if you hold on to the belief that the illness is part of you, necessary somehow,
Then you can keep it locked in place, yeah. It reinforces its presence.
it sounds like resistance is a big factor then. Fighting against it gives it energy.
That seems to be the implication. Constant fighting might energize it, whereas acceptance may be coupled with wanting to learn.
Allows it to pass, to
Right.
resolve naturally.
That's the core of it, yeah. Acceptance and learning.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. What about managing physical discomfort, pain in the moment? We all feel it.
Right. Is there a way to not feel it, or at least experience it differently?
The conversation brings up people like yogis, shamans, who seem able to transform pain. It sounds almost like a superpower.
It does, compared to how most of us react, right? But what's interesting is the power of that collective agreement again.
How does that play in?
We're largely programmed, you could say, to react with pain to certain things because we've all agreed on the laws of physical reality.
Like stubbing your toe hurts because, well, it just does. That's the rule we live by.
That's the shared expectation, exactly. But the source suggests we can shift our attention, redefine the experience.
Redefine pain. How?
The hypnosis examples are pretty wild here.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about those.
Well, the idea that someone can get blisters if they believe they're being touched by a hot cigarette, even if it's not hot,
Whoa.
or the opposite, not reacting to an actual burn because they're convinced it's harmless,
That really shows the power of belief over the physical, doesn't it?
profoundly. It suggests physical sensations, including pain, are fundamentally just vibrating energy.
Just energy.
Yeah. And our focus, our intention, our perspective,
Yeah.
these can redefine how we interpret and experience that energy.
So it comes back to basic principles, simple physics almost.
That's how it's presented. Simple physics of consciousness and existence.
Okay, this leads to actively choosing, shifting to a preferred reality. We all have this idea of our ideal self, right? But we feel stuck.
Yeah, stuck in a state that feels less good. What makes bridging that gap so hard? The source material really hammers this point. Choosing a vibration, a reality, is always a choice we're making. Always.
Even if it feels unconscious, like a habit.
Exactly. Even if it's habit or a pattern. The key step is understanding why. Why might we be choosing something that doesn't align with what we say we prefer?
There must be hidden reasons.
Often, yes. Underlying beliefs, maybe hidden from conscious view, that make the non-preferred choice seem somehow more appealing or necessary.
Like that money analogy you mentioned, believing wealth makes you bad, so you sabotage yourself.
Precisely. That's a great example. A subconscious belief that being rich equals being bad might make you prefer being good, but poor, without even realizing that conflict.
So it's about digging up those internal conflicts.
Identifying them, owning them, resolving them. Taking responsibility for the choices, even the ones leading to outcomes we don't like.
How do you do that?
By asking honestly, what would I have to believe is true to keep making this choice? I say I don't prefer. That helps uncover those root beliefs.
And the idea that change is hard.
That itself is just another belief, not some inherent truth.
Huh. Okay, so you can choose to believe change is easy.
You can choose to prefer the belief that change can be simple, easy. And that preference, that belief itself, can start shaping your reality, making transformation smoother.
Like giving yourself permission to change easily.
Exactly. Giving yourself permission. Now let's take a specific example. Worry. Lots of people relate to that.
Oh yeah, especially parents maybe. The source mentioned a mother worried about her child's mental health.
Yes. And this is where the perspective really shifts things. The source gently challenges the usual approach. It encourages the mother, or you if you're in that position, to really consider the child's perspective, their role, and to listen to what the child is saying, especially if they say, I'm okay. Pay attention.
Instead of just projecting worry onto them.
Right. And see it as co-creation. It's not just the parent's burden. It's a shared journey, maybe even an agreement on some level.
The child could even be the mentor sometimes.
That's what's suggested, yes. The child might have insights It contrasts constantly working on it, which implies something's broken with accepting and allowing.
Because the worry itself can block progress, creates resistance.
I can create an energy of resistance, yes.
Right.
And the assumption that things are fundamentally wrong.
Wow. It's a reminder that the path is always the right one, even if it looks weird. And worry is just us feeling off track.
That's a great way to put it. Worry is the only way to feel off track. It also highlights that kids often have more awareness than we assume. We need to guide, but also listen. Be guided sometimes.
Absolutely. Which actually connects to another question in the material about regaining one's voice.
It does, yeah. The source links us right back to the worry discussion. It suggests that a perceived lack of voice might actually mean
What?
that there's a deeper need to listen more than speak right now.
Huh. That's counterintuitive.
It is, but think about it. Maybe the voice will naturally come back when there's something truly essential, truly aligned that needs saying, like an internal regulator.
So relax into listening. Trust the process. Don't force it.
Exactly. Relax, trust, listen. Let go of the pressure to constantly talk or assert verbally.
And remember, there are other ways to communicate, too.
Many ways. But the source emphasizes that effective listening, truly hearing on all levels, is often the crucial first step.
Okay, so let's try and bring these incredible ideas together. What are the main takeaways from this deep dive?
Well, first, your body has this innate, maybe limitless potential to heal. And that healing often happens through a shift in your conscious awareness.
Shifting to realities where you're already well.
Exactly. Second, illness isn't necessarily fate. It's influenced by beliefs and can be a huge catalyst for learning and growth.
Right. And third, you can redefine physical discomfort, like pain, by shifting your focus and perspective.
And underpinning all of it is the idea that your core beliefs literally shape the reality you experience. Choosing empowering beliefs is, well, potent.
A potent tool for real transformation.
And crucially, these aren't presented as just, fuzzy philosophical ideas. The source frames them as fundamental principles.
Like simple physics.
Simple physics of consciousness and existence, yeah.
Huh.
Principles that are maybe far more accessible, more within your grasp than you currently believe.
So the final thought for you to really chew on.
Yeah.
How might your current beliefs, maybe some you're not even aware of, be actively shaping your physical health, your experiences, the reality you live in right now?
And what might open up for you? What possibilities could unfold if you dared to explore these ideas more? Maybe even experiment with shifting some of those beliefs.
Just a lot to think about. Thank you for taking this really profound deep dive with us.